Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Well, thank you so much for joining me again today, and thank you for tuning in. Well, if you are new to my channel, I am Ndalenga, and I am the founder of There Is Still Hope. There Is Still Hope is a place where we are encouraged to move away from past sorrows and move on and embrace a life that matters. Well, thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned. Associations can mean many things. It can mean friendships. It can mean family. It can mean someone that you work with. It can mean anyone that you find yourself wanting to emulate. Someone that you look up to and want to be that person. Association can be anyone that you follow on social media. And it's so important to mind our associations because associations can either break us or make us. They say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Well, today we're talking about associations. We're talking about minding your association. Stay tuned.
Hi there, and thank you for having me. My name is Luciana Kandume and I'm a radio personnel. So stay with us on this journey.
Well, I have a guest and I'm so excited to have you here, Luciana. Even though I already said your name, kindly introduce yourself.
Hi Ndalenga, thank you so much for having me, and I must also say it's a pleasure meeting you face to face. I remember even being, like you mentioned it already, not getting into the topic, but being on Facebook is already building friendship. So we met on Facebook and we've created friendship over there. So my name is Luciana Kandume and I'm a radio presenter. And yeah, I'm excited to be here on your show.
Welcome. We're talking about associations. Luciana, in your own words, what exactly is associations, or which type of associations are we talking about today?
Okay, a connection or a relationship in Ndalenga, we are talking about a link that we have with people, something that links us to people, something that brings us together, something such as things of interest, things that we have in common, things that we love doing together, but this is for a common goal, for a common purpose, you know, like we coming together and believing that something can be done, or we knowing that, you know, you can go this far because you have people that have your back. So it's people that come together that follow in one direction. They have one vision, and that is the vision they all follow in. That is what I will say is friendship, just the way of doing life together, the way of speaking in one language, you know, let whatever you agree as friends, it is possible because you have one mindset, you have one goal, and you are pulling towards one direction. That's how basically I understand what associations is.
Listening to what you just said, associations is very important, but at the same time, it can either make you
Or break you.
or it can break you.
Very well.
So one would wonder, okay, so what are we saying? Why should we mind our association? Why is it important?
The thing is, it's a deliberate act that we have to do when choosing who we have to associate with, who we have to be friends with, because the people that you associate with are friends that will be part of your daily lifestyle. So meaning each and every day when you wake up, these people are there. These are people that will share things with you, will share life with you. So if you do not mind them, it means you will eventually become who they are. Because as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens the countenance of his own friend. So now, whatever your friend is, whether good or bad, darling, you will become as such. So you need to make it a deliberate effort to say, you know what, I need to know who I'm choosing as a friend, why I'm choosing them, why we go into the same direction, and why not. And the good thing about friendship is that it's not forced upon us. You decide who has to be in your clique and who not, which is a very powerful tool we have.
So the problem is not making association. The problem is actually not knowing what you want to associate yourself with or whom you want to associate yourself with. Are they building you or are they breaking you?
Yeah.
What are they rubbing off? Like,
Definitely.
what are you getting in
Yeah.
from them? So that is actually the problem.
That
But
is-
association in itself is not a problem.
Not a problem at all. And then the thing is also that they say you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family.
Yeah.
So friend is again, its emphasis is put again on association, that you as an individual have the right to choose who you want to associate with. Either you have an option between A and B. You choose what is right for you, and not because somebody else thinks that this person can be your friend, or well, you come from the same village. We have that thing, especially Africans. We have that thing of our families are family friends, or so we need to automatically be friends. But you need to filter each and every individual that comes into your life, because eventually certain things happen to us or does not happen to us because of the people we have around us. Yeah.
Bad character corrupts good character.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I can imagine if you have a basket full of apples and one apple is actually rotten, eventually all the apples get rotten.
That's what, yeah.
That's just an example. So one has to be very careful whom you allow. And I remember a teaching that my pastor once gave where he said, you know, one has to be very careful. There is an inner circle, and then there is an outer circle, and then there is that distance circle. So it's not everyone that you bring close, because anyone who's close to you, sometimes you don't really have a choice. You become them, and they becomes you.
It's obvious, because also one thing that my apostle always speaks about, that it's you show me your friends and I'll tell you exactly who you are. You don't need a lot of intro for one to know who you are. But the moment I see the type of people that are around you, that are surrounding you, I will automatically know that no, this is the type of person. And just by looking at you, I would just say I wouldn't want to associate with that person,
because it's an identity at the end of the day. And if you hang out with the wrong people, you become one. You are literally grouped.
You are connected. So there's no way of separating the good from the bad, because if you are the good friend and you've been good and you are connected to this person, but you could not get them into the good, but they are rather getting you into the bad, it means that something is not connecting. So you just need to move away from such.
There actually comes a point that you actually realize, if you're fortunate enough, you get to realize that, well, the association is not good for me. And you pull yourself out, you know, as difficult as it is. I would love to know how I can do that. As for now, stay tuned. Well, Luciana, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 13:20 that whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but a companion of fools suffer harm. I am interested in knowing, is the difference between an unhealthy association and a healthy association?
Okay, thank you for that question. And sometimes when we look at the biblical perspective of things, like just what you read now, it sounds so like you know, so harsh,
direct,
you know, like but you know, in reality it is what it is, and it's really a big deal. Like we are talking about how to know if a relationship or an association is unhealthy. So before we can look at unhealthy relationship, we need to look at what is healthy association. What do we consider as healthy association? Now, if we look at healthy relationships, what are things that people in healthy relationships do? People in healthy relationships are people that are safe, in a safe place. People that they trust each other. It's people that are there to support one another. That are there, you know the feeling of knowing that someone has your back. You know, like you can be here and you know that, you know what, I can point to that person and I know that that person has got my back. You feel so secure. You feel so protected. You feel so loved, so appreciated. You know,
bringing out the best out of you.
Definitely, like they bring the best out of you when you are with those people or that particular person. You're like, wow, I'm in a good place and
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
And I'm
excited
safe.
to be
I'm
here.
safe.
Yeah,
I don't have to watch my back for anything.
Exactly. And then also healthy relationships then again means that that friendship or that partner accepts you for who you are.
Yeah.
You know, like you are this person with your flaws. You are
Yeah.
this person with that you're the person that is maybe too loud or too quiet or too this or too that. You know what it is that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So but then the other person says, you know what, Luciana is this type of person, but you know what, I love her the way she is.
Yeah.
I just admire that about her. You know, you want people like that. You want people that will not change you
Yeah.
for what they want you to be, but accept you for who you are.
You are a right person for the right people.
Definitely.
They look at your strength and they rather focus on that.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're all human, we make mistakes, we have our flaws, we are not the same.
Definitely.
And as imperfect as we might be,
Yeah.
I believe that, when you are with the right association,
They will see
they
the
don't
good
get
in
to
you.
pin on
Yeah.
your mistakes or
Yeah.
on your weaknesses.
Yeah.
They rather focus on the good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So then with that said, we all look forward to such relationships. We all look forward to being accepted, being wanted. Just that feeling of being wanted, Ndalenga, when you know that, you know what, that person likes me as I am, that person accepts me as I am,
Yeah.
or they embrace me, they love being around me, they love my company, they love my advice, they just love being around me. Now imagine you see, or maybe you know someone that is in a relationship like that, and then you probably on the opposite side, you are in the wrong associations, or you are in an unhealthy association, and then you go like, yo, my goodness, this is quite the opposite, like
You're like, oh, such exists.
yeah. Then the opposite will obviously be you feel not wanted, you feel
Not
you
enough.
can't trust, you are not enough, you always have to come up with something to be accepted, you always have to, even to the extent that you lie about who you are, just to impress the other person, to be accepted by the other person.
Perhaps even coming in the presence of that association and you shrink in, like you're not yourself.
Yeah.
But when you're in with the right people, you yourself. I don't have to shrink, to shy away from my imperfections. You being real, and you're still okay with it, and you are free among such associations.
But with unhealthy relationships, it's a sad reality, because in such situations you see how someone tries to impress, someone tries to bring out what they are not,
and trying too hard.
And exactly, the thing is that you keep on trying hard, and to a point that you lose who you are. You lose your identity because you want to fit in. You lose who you are because you want to impress. You want people to know you as a certain person, but that is not who you are, So you eventually start to play along, even when you know that I am not wanted, or I am wanted because I do A, B, C, D, and D, or I am only wanted when I buy them these, or I'm only wanted when I show up with this, and stuff like that. Then you have to start asking yourself, but really, is this necessary, Because people go through relationships, associations like this, but they don't realize that it's harmful for them.
Eventually, it works on your self-esteem. It breaks you. It takes away a certain amount of yourself, because you find yourself pretending all the time. If it's because the other people have what you don't have, you will go and borrow and probably, just to fit in. And sometimes it is unnecessary.
It becomes unbearable because it's just no longer you. You no longer exist. It's somebody else. We try so much that we really end up losing who we are, our true origin, where we are from and why we are here, because we are overshadowed by who people want us to be, or by who our association think that we should be. So for me, that is totally a red flag. It's a no for me.
In my own words, I would say, when it comes to minding associations or creating associations, one should be deliberate, especially nowadays. I know that sometimes you don't have control of who works in your life and what not, but at the end of the day, before you create associations, one should know, who am I? What am I known for? What are my values? What are my core values? Who am I? What do I accept and what don't I accept?
Yes.
Who are the people that I want to associate myself with? What is my purpose? Where am I going to? So that I will be able to know who do I accept in my life and who do I not accept in my life.
Well
Luciana,
said.
back to
Very
you.
well said.
I am interested in knowing, how do I create a healthy association?
Yeah. Well, Ndalenga, like you rightfully said, in order for you to create healthy associations, there has to be a knowing of who you are, what you stand for, what your purpose is,
Yes.
what your reason is for living. In other words, there has to be a why to your life.
Yeah.
Why am I like this? Why am I here? What is my purpose for being here? Who am I to impact? Where am I going to make a change?
Yeah.
Because if you do not have the answers to these questions, then of course you'll be floating and just going with the flow.
Yeah.
So if all this is in place, then you will know, okay, if I was called to stand out, then it means that I cannot associate with this certain type of people.
Yeah.
If you were called to be a president, for example, it's obvious that you will not be sitting and being in the bar the whole day.
Yeah.
Of course, that is already contradicting your purpose.
Yes.
So if you want to be a president one day, who should you associate with? You should associate yourself with people of such like,
Yeah.
of such kindness, of such like, I mean, people that you see that are going somewhere.
Yeah.
So there has to be a difference between people that are not going anywhere and people that are going somewhere. So you need to find that group of people that, okay, since I want to be a business person in 2 years time or 5 years time, who are the people that will help me to get to where I am?
Yeah.
So by looking at your life in such a way, you will know already, I don't think that X is supposed to be in this circle. I don't think that B fits in this circle. I should be looking at A and Y and this and this and that. Yeah.
And some of these things are so, you know, when you come across people, you can literally tell, you know, that, okay, this one is not, you know, she doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when we were at school, you know, you'd always find this one they want to fit in, but their values from home does not
work.
fit.
Yeah.
You know, and then they literally, you can tell that, hello, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You don't belong here. This is not you.
Yeah. One can see, I don't know, but there's always that thing that others can see your potential or others can see what you're supposed to do, but it seems that you are somehow just overcrowded by, I don't know, this excitement of being in that group or this excitement about belonging to a certain type of people or a certain class, you know. You get so overwhelmed that you actually forget that you are unique, that you are special. Like the Bible says, you are a royal priesthood. You have been chosen, packaged just as you are. You are enough just as you are, you know. Like we always forget that. Of course, we will forget that because when we are a crowd, we tend to be like the crowd. But that's when we are supposed to single ourselves out, because you can only shine if you are separated from the rest. But the moment you are in a crowd, you will not easily be located. So you need to know, who am I? Where am I going? You know, what next from here?
What is my purpose in life?
What is my purpose, you know? Why did I come to Namibia, for instance? What is Namibia supposed to benefit from you?
And I also believe that if you happen to be with the wrong association, they might kill your purpose. They might kill who you are. They might kill your identity. They might kill whatever it is that brings value to your life. Because no one will respect what they don't understand.
Yep.
It shouldn't be more of you giving you everything, like giving yourself, like literally pouring yourself out.
Yeah.
And the other person is literally doing nothing.
Receiving on the receiving.
Then there is an unbalance. It's not a healthy one.
Yeah.
Say, for example, I get to realize that, well, this is an unhealthy association. It can be a friendship, it can be a relationship, whatever it is. I feel like I'm actually the one on the losing end.
Yeah.
And the other person is more on the receiving end. And I realize that this is literally breaking me instead of building. It's draining. It's not bringing the best out of me. Is it important that I end such association? And if it is important, how do I do it? Well, Luciana, thank you so much for joining me. It's such a pleasure to have you join me today. And it's been 2 months now that we've been wanting to speak about this, and it's one thing after another. But thank God, today we could cover this topic. Thank you so much. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for tuning in. Well, this is There Is Still Hope, and if this is your first time, I'm Ndalenga, and welcome to my channel. Please do subscribe and become part of the family. Till next time, it's bye-bye from us.